Hey, everybody. Sarah Weber and Macey Hodge. Everybody knows who they are, but just to be formal and introduce them. You guys each had a couple of little milestones over the last week. Obviously today, Sarah, it was announced that you were called up to the U23s, and Macey, you made your first start for the club last week. If you guys could just give us some thoughts on each of those milestones for you, what they mean to you, and then I'll open it up for questions over here.
Yeah, it means a lot, honestly. I don't take any call for granted. So really just excited to get back into that environment and learn a lot and bring it back here.
Yeah, and then really excited to get my first start for the club. I think, just really excited to represent what this group means, not only for this organization, but for the city as well. So just to be able to contribute in the way that I can has been exciting for me. Excited to grow more.
Dog.
Who wants first question? Anybody?
So speaking of how you can fit in the first 3 games since you've been here, has it been what you expected? Has your role been what you were expecting, or has it been pretty much different?
Yeah, I think coming into a new environment, it's always interesting kind of finding your rhythm and your flow and where you fit in the group and what's expected of you. And so I think throughout preseason, it was really clear what my role was going to be and taking that on. And so from the first game to now, just trying to figure out what the group needs from me. And I think it's a little bit different in every game, kind of on tactically what we want to do. But at the end of the day, want to do what I do, break up play, bring energy and stuff like that. So I think that's been consistent from the get-go, but kind of tweaking it based on what we think we need in a game. But yeah, it's been great so far.
So it's both your second year in the league, but your second year with the team as well. How has the first 3 games this year been different from last season for you?
Yeah, honestly, similarly, it's just understanding my role and how I fit in with the team, what's expected of me, what I can bring, but making sure I'm doing that. And I think this year has just allowed maybe I have a little more confidence on what's going on around me, so I can just kind of relax a little bit and play my game, which is more fun. It's exciting when you can just play you know how to play and not overthink everything. Yeah. So
tomorrow's game against Houston, what challenges do they provide, especially with a keeper like Jane Campbell?
Yeah, I mean, she's such a talent. So it's just going to be exploiting some of the things that we've talked about this week in our meetings and what we've addressed on the field, just exploiting them in those ways and committing to that and making sure that, if it's not what we're doing, if it's not working, to still stay committed to that and trust that the coaches have done their research, they know what they're talking about. So just trusting that and allowing the game to open up. I think once we do that, we'll be in a good spot.
Macey, you were in a deeper role in the last match. Did that suit you? Did you think you had a good match in that deeper lying role?
Yeah, I definitely like the defensive work and that part of the game. So excited to be able to, kind of make my mark in that way. I think in any role that I play in the team, I'm going to want to try to do my best. I think for sure I'm definitely more of a deeper suited player. But at the end of the day, if it's there a little bit higher, I want to get the job done regardless.
Sarah, you've been consistently in the 9 role this year. You missed Emma in the last match. Do you feel any extra burden to produce more goals, kind of more consistently this year compared to last, where everybody, you're a rookie, everybody didn't know what to expect. Now they know what you can do. Is there an extra weight of expectation?
Yes, but I think it's a good level of expectation. I would want that because that means that people trust me to give those results. So. No, I think it's a good pressure, and I think every player needs a little bit of that to really thrive. So I don't overthink that. Yeah.
And second year for you with Bev, and she talked about kind of what she called the evolution of the tactics. How do you think that message is making its way to the team?
Yeah, I think they do such a good job of communicating clearly and effectively, what it is that they want and how we can kind of give them what they're looking for. And off of last year, coming into preseason, we had such a good base already, such a good foundation of what those actually looked like and how we could execute them. So it's just building off of that and correlating those to the games. But yeah, it's getting more specific this year, which I think is really good. Teams are presenting a lot of new pictures, so it's just kind of on us to take what they're saying and then apply it to the games.
So Macey, kind of similar question for you. You have to kind of pick up mid-evolution. So how has that been going for you?
Yeah, it's been great. We had a really solid preseason, I think. Expectations from the beginning were super, super clear, and I think we have a group not only that takes on what the coaches want, but actually want to live in the identity of it. So I think it's been great, having like senior players to rely on that really like know the system. And so if I have any questions or anything, like there are people that I can go to and really know what's going on.
Do you think that the pace is different when you actually stepped out on the pitch? And I know Racing plays with such aggression, such physicality, and they really push. Did you notice a difference in pace when you actually started playing with them in a game?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a difference in pace and aggression and everything. I think what we want to do is special, but I think the like identity that we have underlying like what we want to do is even more important. So I think everybody comes into the games like we're going to outwork you. Like we want to run, we want to tackle, and we want to do the hard things that maybe some teams like don't really value. And I think that in itself is like super important for me. And I think it's like something that I definitely wanted to be a part of. So yeah, that was definitely evident when I came in.
For both of you, but we'll start with Sarah. Just, Bev mentioned being clinical in that final third, really being maybe a difference that they want to take into the next couple of games. How can you guys be more clinical in the final third?
Yeah, I think it's honestly just playing with a certain level of like calmness. Like with that last question, like we are a really aggressive, like high intensity team, which is so good. And like we do the work, like we're not afraid to do the dirty work, but it's like when we get in that final third, can there be like a composure to that and a calmness to that? And trust that like, yeah, when we have 4 runners in the box, like we are going to get a solid ball played across, picking somebody out, putting it away, falling for rebounds. It's doing all those little things that I think we just need to do better and create those higher XGs in the game. So,
yeah. Definitely what she said. And I think when you look at it, like we're getting in the places that we need to be. And so I think at times, it's easy to get frustrated when there's no final result from the buildup. But I would say like it's even more exciting to know we're 3 games in and we're getting these chances. And now it's just like literally the final touch, like the final quality on that. So I think we'd have a lot bigger problems if it's like, okay, we're not even getting it to these points. But I mean, if you look at like shots created in games that we've walked away from and maybe been like, oh, like that could be better. But I think like it's great that we're getting into those areas. So I think, yeah, just the final quality on that, and things are going to look so much different on the score sheet than they are when we walk away.
I mean, Sarah, I feel like that's kind of been a theme that Racing has had over the last couple of years, and last year specifically too, where you guys were so close.
Yeah.
And there was just like that final finesse. Are you relying on some of the experience that you guys got last year into this year now that the start is kind of maybe not having the result that you've wanted in the final points system?
Yeah, I think definitely relying on that. And I think just not stressing too much about it, like not jumping ship just because like we hadn't gotten the results that we want. Like it's a long season, and like May said, like we are getting into those positions. So yeah, again, just being a little bit more calmer and like trusting each other and trusting like, hey, like next one, like shake, like you can do the next one, and just kind of moving on. I think that'll allow us to be a little bit more clinical also going forward.
There's just so many opportunities. I feel like with Racing, there's been a couple of injuries. Savannah DeMello still unsure when she'll come back. But like, what does that provide for you to see the pitch and have that opportunity out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really excited to get the minutes that I do, like whether that's starting or off the bench. So I think being surrounded by not only really great players but great like football minds has been really important to me. You have people like Sav and Taylor Flint that really are influential in the way that they play, so just to be able to pick their brains and learn a little bit from them has been really important to me as well. But yeah, whatever minutes that I get whenever, I'm really excited to take it and go with it.
We got 2 more in the chat. And I'll make them quick, guys. First one this is from Brendan Devine. For Sarah, on the U23s, you've been called up now frequently for the U23s, 3 straight camps for you. What do you bring back from those camps to Racing?
Yeah, I think along with everything that we've been talking about, I think just more composure. I think the style of play is also a bit different when I go to camp. So it's like, how can I incorporate that into my game in a way that only emphasizes more the style of play that we have here, such as runs in behind, my post-up play, just quality on the ball, like all of those things. But yeah, I think just composure and confidence also.
And then for both of you guys, Bev mentioned her line about seeing Racing's crest and other teams know what to expect. But for Houston, how do you plan to prepare for a team that likes to play out of possession, but has also shown they can thrive without possession?
I think really just kind of focusing on what we can do. I think in the past, maybe we've given a little bit too much credit to the other team and focused on them a little bit too much. And like, obviously with that said, like we have what they're going to do, like we're taking it as it comes, but also focusing on like, hey, like when we get the ball, like what are we going to do to make them like play more defensively and like be on their heels a little bit more. Yeah, excited for the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've just like really honed in on our identity and what we want to bring to the game offensively and defensively, and we've tried to keep that consistent week to week, but obviously tweak it as we need. But yeah, really excited and ready to get after it.